so fortunate to be at some of the leading institutions in America, Princeton, Harvard, Columbia, and to be able to give voice and to share the ideas, experiences, and the research that I've been able to do in a broader context is just empowering.
As someone who studies technology in society and science in society, I see a lot more complicated dynamics, and I would like to see people making more informed decisions.
I've been obsessively sending, what about this as a news page? What about this as a news?
It's awesome.
Like, this is worth, it's exciting once you start doing it.
We are doing phenomenally well as a group. We have 29 successes.
To have your ideas start conversations and perhaps change minds.
I'm the Associate Director of African American Studies at Princeton University.
I am an expert in public health, law, and policy.
I teach in theater and English.
Fostering innovation and entrepreneurship.
And women, gender, and sexuality in popular culture.
The history of African American marriages.
Families with transgender and gender nonconforming children.
Musical theater history.
Air pollution.
Ancient science and medicine.
Graduate admissions.
Culture and reproduction. Sociology of science and technology.
Comparative ethnic literature.
Where do you find the time to write?
It comes out really fast if you have the motivation.
Our vision is of a world where the best ideas and the best knowledge, regardless of where they come from or whom they come from, will have a chance to be heard and shape society in the world.
I couldn't compete with that.
Congress was considering cutting a massive part of planetary science's budget. Due to this outcry in the public press and in the media, Congress decided to change their decision, and it seems like they're about to restore funding. The congressman who was opening the hearing opened with almost verbatim quoting from my op-ed, and I thought that was pretty cool.
The public might be surprised to know that marriage was illegal under slavery. It basically challenged a lot of the myths and misconceptions that people have about the history of African American families and the ways in which those myths are often used to denigrate current day black families.
One of the most surprising things that I have learned from my research is how much the public distrusts the government. And I think that results from the political polarization in America.
It will take over 200 years for us to see the full representation of women and other historically underrepresented groups in higher education. And what that means is we're not seeing the full ingenuity and innovation that can be realized at American institutions throughout the country.
There are energy sources that we can use which will slow the rate of climate change, improve air quality, and are cost effective.
The idea of the biological body or the physical body has a history, and that history begins in ancient Greece. So I think right now the humanities aren't a part of the conversation about how we can educate physicians in a really holistic, well-rounded way at the university level.
I wrote an op-ed with Susan Greenfield of Fordham University, who, like me, is a specialist on 18th century fiction. The new pornographic novel, 50 Shades of Grey, shows that women can actually be consumers of pornography, women matter as readers, and that reading matters.
More medical technology does not usually lead to better outcomes for women and babies. Medical intervention is necessary only in cases of problems, and allowing birth to happen on its own time schedule with minimal interventions leads to the best outcomes for women and babies.
As white folks, we can all too often forget that we too exist in a society where race matters, and our race matters as well.
I think it's much easier for people to talk about dead queer youth than it is to kind of struggle with the complexities of what it means to be a gay kid or a transgender kid who's alive and trying to survive in a school, in a family, in a community.
I wrote an op-ed about the television series Mad Men and the Broadway musical that's being revived right now, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. This was important because it showed the link between musical theater and what's going on in popular culture today.
If racism is an illness and we don't have a cure for that illness, it means that there's no hope for change. If it's learned, it can be unlearned. About 2 weeks ago, I wrote an op-ed that actually ended up changing how people thought about racism. Palestinians were way into it, and people from Dubai way into it, like all over my Twitter feed.
I feel like this is a different muscle I have to exercise, which is the one that says, it's not going to take months of research. I have an idea, I'm going to write it down, I'm going to send it out. That your ideas matter, that you are an expert in the things that you know about and are trained to talk about and that you care about, and that you're absolutely prepared to go out in the world and have things to say.
The Public Voices Fellowship has enabled me to learn from a wonderful set of female leaders that have been really inspirational to me. And also, it's helping me to find my own voice.
One of the things we always say at the Op-Ed Project is there can be consequences for saying something of consequence, but the alternative is to be inconsequential.
And to watch that transformation is so powerful and rewarding. I'm grateful to be part of this project.